Shalom. First and foremost, and give all praise, glory, and honor to the Most High and His only begotten Son, who we know and believe as Yahweh, Bahashim Yahweh Shai, Bahashim Rabakak Wadash. Double honors to elder apostles, great millstone that taught me this truth. And that rule well, peace, love, and blessings also to Yakim out there pushing this truth in all sincerity and faith and honesty. And blessings to you few sisters out there listening and learning. And this is going to be another prophecy update, 2020 year prophecy. There's another article here from RT News. And I'm going to get right into it. It says, end game for America. Dollar literally a bomb that could go off any day, warns Peter Schiff. All right. The scale of money printing in the United States is unprecedented. Okay, so we always knew America was printing money, a certain amount of money every day. But now it says it's reached unprecedented a scale of unprecedented scale. All right, put it that way. So it has reached an unprecedented scale. Okay, so meaning never before seen. Okay. It says veteran stockbroker Peter Schiff, the deficits are through the roof and the government is spending more money than ever before. Okay, so this whole economic thing, understanding the financial system, economics is not easy to understand for everybody. So I'm gonna look up this word right here for you real quick, and one of the definitions in the conventional dictionary kind of gives you an example. So this is the word deficit. It says the amount by which something, especially a sum of money, is too small, an excess of expenditure or liabilities over income or assets in a given period. In sports, right? This is a good example right here that they give to break it down in layman's terms, for those that don't really understand this whole economic thing. So it says in sports, the amount or score by which a team or individual is losing came back from a 3-0 deficit. Okay, so they was down 3 points, okay, and they had none. So that's a very clear, a very clear example to show you what a deficit is. So America is printing more money than a sum. So look at the sum as the zero right here, okay, and the amount they're printing, the amount they're printing is the 3, okay. So this next paragraph in this article is going to explain that 3 to 9 deficit, okay. So let's go back to the article here. So it says Schiff, however you want to pronounce it, who is CEO of a Euro-Pacific capital, told the Money Show that more than 60 cents out of every dollar the government is spending is being printed. Okay, so the Federal Reserve is printing more money. Here's the key to further explain that deficit, that 3 to 9 deficit. It says, so the Federal Reserve is printing more money for the government to spend than the U.S. government is collecting in taxes. Okay, so remember that 3 to none. So they're spending 3 and they're only taking in, let's say, 1 to break it down in simplest terms. So they only collecting 1 and spending 3. So the rest is just printing. Okay, to keep the system balanced, to keep the system from blowing up and inflating itself, you have to bring in as much as you're spending. Okay, simple. If you have a job, if you have a bank account with $1,000 in it, and you don't have a job, or you have a job and you're only making, let's say, $100 a week, okay, but you're spending $200 a day, and you're only making $100 a week. Well, eventually you're going to run out of money from spending because you have more going out than more that you're actually bringing in. It's that simple. Okay, so they're spending more than they're bringing in. So it says the myth is that the U.S. economy was strong before COVID. So like, yeah, I don't went too long without getting precepts. Let me get some precepts real quick. This is Habakkuk 2 verse 3. It says, "For the vision is yet for a appointed time, but at the end it shall speak and not lie. Though it tarry, wait for it, because it will surely come. It will not tarry." And what is that? What is that vision? The downfall and destruction of Babylon the Great, aka America. All right, verse 4 says, "Behold, his soul which is lifted up is not upright in him, but the just shall live by faith. Yea, also because he transgresseth by wine, he is a proud man, neither keepeth at home." Who's that talking about? The so-called white man. Okay, Esau, Edom, involved in all these international affairs. All right, going over in other people's lands, policing them. All right, invading them. So he neither keepeth at home, who enlarges his desire is as hell, and is as death, and cannot be satisfied. So he can't be satisfied, but gathereth unto him all nations, and heapeth unto him all people. This is the point. Shall not all these take up a parable against him, and a taunting proverb against him, and say, Woe to him that increaseth that which is not his? Okay. How long? And to him that leadeth himself with thick clay. And we're going to go through this again. Brothers brought this out before. So this thick clay is, the Hebrew word is a batyet. A batyet. All right. And as you can see, weight of pleasures of heavy depths. So that thick clay is that debt. Okay. All that debt. All right. And America is trillions upon trillions of dollars in debt. Okay. And go back to this definition. It says a pledge, a weight of pledge, heavy debts. Now, when you have, we all know about the U.S. dollar was once backed by gold. Okay, now it's not backed by gold. I believe President Nixon removed the gold standard from off the dollar. Okay, so weight of pledges of debts, to take a pledge, to give a pledge for a debt. So when you take a dollar and when you use these U.S. dollars, okay, that's pretty much a pledge. How? Because if you have $1 million, you should have that amount of gold to back it. You should have $1 million worth of gold to back it, because that's initially what backed the U.S. dollar, which was gold. Okay, so America's printing all this money to infinity, you know, and to an unprecedented scale, but they don't have all the gold to back all this money that they're printing. Okay, so they take a pledge. That pledge to say, hey, I have this amount of gold equivalent to this amount of currency, to this amount of paper, because really all it is. All right, it's a debt note. It's a pledge to pretty much say, hey, I got this amount of gold to back up this dollar. So every one of us should be able to take all the money that we have and go to the bank and receive the equivalent amount of gold for the amount of money that we have. But if everybody was to do that, all right, they don't have the gold to back up all this money that they're printing. All right. So weight of pledges, heavy debts. So that's what that word thick clay. So the scriptures is saying, woe to this man. Okay. And him that laid himself with thick clay. Shall not they rise up suddenly that shall bite thee, and awake that shall vex thee, and thou shalt be booties unto them. So spoils. Because that's what's going to happen. Okay. This is going to rise up suddenly against him. All right, you Americans, because these countries are not using the U.S. dollar. So it says the myth is that the U.S. economy was strong before COVID. It was strong at all. It wasn't strong at all. It was the weakest it has ever been. So as we been stating, all right, it's we're already going through a retail apocalypse, already going through a recession, already going through a depression pre-COVID-19, before COVID-19 even got here. So COVID-19 was just a nail in the coffin. All right. So it says it was the biggest bubble that has ever existed. That's why the economy imploded so quickly as a result of COVID-19 lockdowns. The air started coming out in the fourth quarter of 2018, and the dollar is being wiped out. Okay, so that's what's happening. All right, I don't want to read too much into this. So I get this right here. It says America's about to experience inflation on an unprecedented scale. He says the cost of living is going to skyrocket and is going to happen very quickly. It's going to hit people like a ton of bricks, and they are not going to see this coming. Okay, so the cost of living prior before COVID-19, people were already complaining about the cost of living. Okay, so imagine what's finna happen now. What's finna transpire now? You already got 30% of Americans that can't even pay their rent. Okay, so it's going, you know, things are going to get very ugly in these upcoming days. Okay, and so I'm gonna close off with this last statement. I'm gonna get back into the precepts. It says, according to the economist, the dollar could collapse any day. It is literally like a bomb. The key is to get money out of the U.S. dollars because it's the dollar that is going to be collapsing. Okay, because what's real money? Gold and silver, and that's why Russia and China are hoarding so much gold. He says it's reasonable to buy gold to ease financial pain because gold and silver stocks are a bargain. All right, because that's real money, not this fake U.S. dollar. See there? That's beautiful. So this is real money right here. That's why the elder apostles have been telling us to buy gold. Okay. So I'm gonna close out with this last precept. Um, James 5, 5th chapter. James 5 and 1, it says, go to now, ye rich men, weep and howl, for your misery shall come upon you. Your riches are corrupted, and yes, the riches are corrupted. How the riches was gotten, all right, through rape, rob, murder, and slavery of the Native Americans. All right, how the financial system was established here in America due to slaves. All right, the stock market having the first stocks is actual slaves, you so-called Negroes, right? You Israelites. So it's all corrupted. Okay, your gold and your silver is cankered. Your rust of them shall be a witness against you, and shall eat your flesh as it were fire. Ye have heaped treasures together for the last days. Okay, behold, the hire of the laborers who have reaped down your fields. It's talking about you Israelites. Okay, which is of you kept back by fraud. All right, we didn't get paid for our wages. Okay, here in America, that's why this place is tumbling down, man. The Lord's getting ready to judge this place for its unrighteousness. All right, it says, and the cries of them which have reaped are entered into the ears of the Lord of Sabaoth. Okay, Lord of armies, it says, ye have lived in pleasure on the earth, been wanting, and that's how you Americans have been living in pleasure. Okay, not realizing that your success, okay, your prosperity, that's the word I'm looking for, your prosperity uh came from the rape, rob, and murder of the Israelites. Okay, of you so-called blacks, Hispanics, Native American Indians. Okay, all this was possible due to the enslavement of those people. So now the Lord is getting ready to judge this place, and it's all coming to crumble down on you, man. It's gonna hit you like a ton of bricks. All right, you're gonna wake up and the cost of food is gonna be so high you're not gonna be able to purchase it. All right, cost of living, your rent's gonna go up. You're not gonna be able to pay your rent. You're gonna be homeless, and ultimately you're gonna be hauled off in concentration camps because you're gonna invade each other, as says the scriptures. Okay, and you're gonna be chipped and you're gonna be destroyed by the Lord, man. It says, you have lived in pleasure on the earth and been wanting. You have nourished your hearts as in a day of slaughter. You have condemned and killed the just, and he doth not resist you. Okay, so the Lord is getting ready to come and judge you, man. All right, and we can see that happening now. All right, so this is pretty much the end of America, and as I said, it can come crashing down any day now. Okay, and this is not too far-fetched. You produce nothing, All right, you're printing to infinity. You know, there's no bracket on your printing. There's no limits, and it's just gonna be major inflation and all your paper money. You're gonna use it to it's gonna be good for burning and keeping warm in this winter that's getting ready to come. So with that, Lord willing, you edify. Until next time, I'm gonna say a shalom.